What's up and hello America. Today I'm going to change up some things a little bit. I'm going to tell a little story about something that I did when I was young, when I was a teenager, a little crazy. Something me and my cousin did that was, outrageous. We had one crazy day and night, it just, there's no other way of explaining it. We kind of had we were playing uh, Grand Theft Auto in real life, for real. And it was fun. It was fun at the time. It was ridiculous. It was super dangerous, super crazy. And this is something that you you could make a movie out of. Literally, it was insane what we did. So one night we're out with some friends, right, or some people who we thought were our friends, and we were at the some older guy's house, and we were getting, we were drinking, we were too young. I think we were like 14 years old. We're drinking alcohol, getting drunk, and just being stupid, And these guys were like in their 30s, I guess 28, late 20s, early 30s, and so we're hanging out, and turns out these guys weren't so cool, so we wanted to get out of there. We wanted to jet. Problem was, we were in the middle of the city. We had no way home. We got into it with these guys. We jetted out of their house. We're in the middle of the city with no way home, and it's like middle of the night. So so we're walking through the city, right? We're just walking. We're drunk, okay? We're drunk. We had no business out. Really late at night. The city's dead. The only thing that we're gonna see are cops and a few scragglers. You know what I'm saying? People may be coming home from uh, you know, third shift, or going to work at third shift, something like that. I don't even know what time it was. You know what I'm saying? But so we're going through town, and we're like, we're never gonna get home. How are we gonna get home? We can't call our parents because we're drunk. We're gonna be in trouble. We can't, There's nobody we could think of, and at that time we didn't have cell phones. So it was either we find a payphone or we hoof it. That was our only choices. And at that time, there wasn't very many people to call it, anyway, because we're only like 14 years old. Who are we gonna call? If we call our parents, we're busted. We're in trouble. We had a few friends that was old enough to drive, but the problem is like I said, there's no cell phone. So if we made the phone call, we're gonna be calling their house, waking their parents up. That's gonna give us away. Bad things happen, right? So we're walking through the city, okay? We come up on a fenced in area, right? Well, there's some city trucks inside this chain link fence. And my cousin's like, dude, I'm gonna jump this fence, and I'm going to see if there's any keys in any of these trucks, and we'll get one of these trucks and we'll drive it back to our neighborhood, and we'll just ditch it. We had this little place down below where we lived, and it was an armory. Every city used to have an armory. Now it's like the emergency management agency or whatever now. But at that time it was the armory, and it was just right down the road from where we lived. So we were gonna take this city truck, drive it to the armory, park it, and then walk on home. And all was gonna be good. But we had some problems along the way. You see, things got a little crazy after we stole this. It was I don't know. It was in the '90s, so it was a white Chevy, just standard truck. All right, so now he drives this freaking truck through the chain link fence, and it don't work like it does on the movies. It totally, like in the movies, the chain link fence goes, psh, and it opens up, and you drive out, and it's perfect. No, 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 it don't work like that. The whole fence came down, and he drives over the fence, not through the fence. He drives over the fence, and so he's like, "Get in, let's go." So my stupid ass jumps in the truck with him, and we're doing good. We're doing good. We're doing great. We're driving, and we get through the city, we start going around this road. It's called Sunset Drive, and it's only in our city we have a big lake, and there's a walking trail and right next to our rec center, and they call it Sunset Drive, where the sun's coming up. And about that time, the sun's coming up, and but it's still dark, but it's getting dusky, dark, dawn, and all of a sudden we see the police as they're pulling out of the rec center, and they hit the blue lights. So now when they flash their lights, we just gun it. We just gun it. He hits the pedal to the metal and just takes off. When he does that, of course the cop comes out behind us. Blue lights. They're chasing us down the road. Now, there's this big, huge curve on this road. It's a huge curve, and we're going like 80 miles an hour probably by the time we get to that curve. Now we try to slow down. Cops are on our backs. You know what I'm saying? They're chasing us. You know what I'm saying? I mean, it's not looking good for us. But anyway, they're chasing us. They're like right on us. So we can't really give up much. Now we try to slow down a little bit, but he's like, "I'm not gonna make the curve. I'm not gonna make the curve," and we just start sliding, and we just plow into the ditch. I mean, we just slam into the ditch, and it knocks me out. Only out for like just a second, and then I'm like right back up again, because he's like, my cousin's like, "Bo, now you gotta get up. You gotta get up, man. Let's go, let's go, let's go. The cops are on us. We gotta get up. We gotta run." So I jump up and I get out. We ran. Luckily, there's like these woods right up by, like where we wrecked. So we ran up behind these houses into this wooded area. By this time, there's like cops everywhere. I'm talking like 20 cop cars. And there's like, where we're at is like, there's like a road that circles back behind the area, and it comes all the way around like a circle. It's like a circled area. So we're in this vicinity in these woods, and we can see these cops just circling around constantly, and some of them's out and they're like looking for us. We can see flashlights coming up through the woods and stuff. But down on the other side of the road is the lake. So we're like, you know what? If we can, we were watching the cop cars as they would go around, and there was a gap. There was one gap that we saw that they were leaving, and we thought, well, if we hit that gap just right, we can run across and get away from them. You know what I'm saying? So that's what we did. We timed it just right, and right as that gap come up, we just took off. We ran across to the other side and onto the lake side, and so then we got away from that, because they're still circling around. We're walking down down through the lake. By this time, the sun's done came up. The sun's up, and it's early morning. You know, people are still asleep, but the sun's coming up, and we're thinking, man, there's cops everywhere. People are gonna start waking up anytime. What are we gonna do? We're walking up to by the lake. You know, there's a lot of houses up here, a lot of boat houses right here. And what do you know? What do we come up on? A boat. So my cousin, he jumps in the boat. He's like, look, let's see if there's any keys in it. So I jump in with him. Sure enough, this boat has the keys in it. The keys are in the boat. And I'm like, there's no way this thing's gonna fire up. There's no way this thing's gonna fire up. And guess what? The boat cranks up. Now we're in the boat. We're like okay, we're home free. So we ride out. We're out in the lake riding, just chilling. We're at this point. We're like, man, we made it. We are home free. We got away, yo. They ain't never gonna catch us, man. We got it, dude. We got away. But no, we didn't get away, because the next thing you know, the Marine Police has kicked on their blue lights. Whoop, whoop. And we're like, oh, no. I'm like, just kick it, go. We gotta go. And so, once again, we kick it, and we are getting chased by the Marine Police now. So we're like waving back and forth, because the boat that we're in, it's pretty fast. It's a ski boat. It's a ski boat. But it's not as fast as the marine boat. So I'm like, he's driving, like my cousin's driving, so like I'm looking behind, and every time the cop tries to come up around us, I'm like, turn that way. So he'd cut him off. So he'd turn, he'd cut him off. And then I'd be like, cut him off that way. So he's like chasing us, and we're cutting him off. Back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. We are jetting. He is right on our tail. We're just getting it. You know what I'm saying? We're trying our best to get away, and we fly through underneath this like overpass, not an overpass, causeway. And the boat is almost standing straight up, because we're having to slow down, speed up, slow down, speed up. And every time you speed up, the boat will stand up like this. We just nearly clipped that causeway under, where you go under. We almost clipped it, which would have flipped us backwards. But I'm like, just go, 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 because he's right on us. And so we're coming up on the bank, and he's like, what should I do? What should I do? And I'm like, just leave it going. And, you know, on a boat, all you got to do is just push the throttle up and just leave it, and it'll just keep going. I said, just push the throttle all the way up, and we're just gonna just ram the bank, and we'll just jump out we'll time it. When we hit the bank, we'll jump, and we'll jump out on it, because there was a road right there. So we was gonna time it and just jump out of the boat and land on that road. Just keep running through the woods, because there was some woods right there. Now, we crashed the boat, but it didn't happen quite like we wanted it to. So now we've crashed the boat. The boat's up on the bank. But I go flipping out of the boat. I'm flipping like head over feet, like this, through the air. I don't know how fast we were going, but I landed, boom, right on my back. In the middle of the road, two cars have to just slam on the brakes, because I'm like, boom. Luckily, it does not knock me out or anything. I jump up, and that's all I know. I just jump up and take off running. I look back, I hear the cop. He's like, freeze, police. And he's literally got his gun pointed at me. I'm like, oh my God. So I'm running, I'm gone, you know what I'm saying? And I run and I duck down behind this house, and and I don't know where my cousin's at. I don't know where he's went. Can't find it. You know what I'm saying? Little did I know, when we had crashed, he hadn't had time to get up there on the front yet. He was still behind the windshield of the boat. So when it hit the bank, he hit the windshield and flipped off onto the bank right there. And the cop, when he jumped out, he got him. He done arrested him. So I couldn't run on up through the woods after I didn't see the car for a second. So I run on up through the woods. I don't know where my cousin's at, but I'm figuring he'll make his way. And I knew the area. I knew it. I had a lot of friends that lived just like a mile from where we wrecked the boat. So I'm running through the woods. I'm trucking it like crazy. You know what I'm saying? So I truck it all the way to one of my buddy's house. I'm beating on his door. Let me in, man. Let me in. And so he lets me in. Thank God he's home. You know what I'm saying? I go in. I sit down on the couch. And he's like, what is going on, man? It's like all over the radio, the news, whatever, that the police is looking for y'all, man. You know what I'm saying? Of course, they didn't know who I was at the time. They just knew that there was some folks running from the police. You know what I'm saying? And but sure enough, man, the cops they surround the house, you know. And my buddy's like, man, go hide. And I'm like, no, man, I'm tired. I can't run. I don't run a mile. And we've been running from these cops all night, you know what I mean? By this time, it's midday. And I'm tired. I'm hungry. I can't run no more. And he's like, dog, just go hide upstairs, man. I'll tell him you ain't here. I'm like, no, man, just tell him I'm done. You know what I'm saying? And so they knock on the door. And they already know, because I didn't know it, but they had already gotten my cousin, and my cousin done gave him my name. So of course they're like, is Joy the boat on here? And I done told my buddy, I said, man, don't, I said, just tell him I'm here. And he's like, nah, he ain't here. And I was like, man, yes I am, I'm here, I didn't give up. So sure enough, cop comes in and he slaps the cuffs on me. Now, this was the first time that I'd ever gotten in any trouble in my life, you know. But I mean, doing some crazy. I mean, we steal, or we didn't really steal it. We took it and we wrecked after getting chased by the police. We done took a city work truck, ran from the police in this thing, wrecked it, ran from the police there, got in somebody else, somebody's boat, their personal boat, took off in it, got chased by the Marine police and that, totaled that boat out on the bank, done flipped out, could have died, get run over by cars, could have broke my neck, you know, could have killed my cousin, you know, but they got me, you know, they taking me downtown, man, and I'm scared to death, because I'm just a kid, man, you know, and I'm thinking, man, my dad's gonna kill me, you know, so I'm done, this is over. I wasn't even worried about the cops, I was worried about my dad, man, you know what I'm saying, he's gonna beat me, you know what I'm saying. But I mean, it was crazy, man. It was just one of them crazy things. I mean, I know it's not an ordinary crazy thing. Not every 14-year-old goes out, takes a city truck, runs through the gate or the fence, and runs from the police, and gets a boat, runs from the police, and gets handcuffed at 14 years old. Not everybody does that. That's not an everyday thing. And I mean, we were literally Grand Theft Autoing it before Grand Theft Auto, the video game, was ever even invented. You know what I'm saying? And it was crazy, you know. Went downtown. Of course, we was too young to be put in jail, so we were just sitting there waiting on our parents to come get us. Now, They didn't know for sure that we took the truck, but of course they 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 pretty much did, but they didn't have they needed us to admit to it because they didn't have us on camera, they didn't have us, you know, or anything. But they knew that we had the boat because I mean they saw us and they called my cousin Sparks when he fell out of it, and he told them who I was, automatically he'd give me up. And so they played us against each other. And finally, we admitted to taking the truck too, and of course, it gave my parents all kinds of hell, because they had to go to court with me, and all this and that, juvenile court. Now my cousin, he was already on probation, so he went to a place that's called Mount Meigs. It's like a juvenile jail, prison, so to speak. And so he had to go there. But I'd never been in any trouble before, so they put me on probation, and stuff, and made me pay for these fines. Thankfully, us being kids, the city didn't press charges on us on the truck. And the folks that owned the boat, they were older couple. They were cool. They didn't press any charges on us, and it was, instead of grand theft auto, which they could have got us two counts of grand theft auto, they got that they lowered that down to joyriding, eluding police officers. I mean, we had so many charges. I think it was 7 felony charges that they could have got. They lowered them all to misdemeanors because we were just kids, and they put me on probation. And it was just a crazy thing that I did when I was a kid, But turns out my dad wasn't the one that gave me an ass whooping. It was my older brother that gave me an ass whooping. You know what I'm saying? It was instead of getting a belt, I got whipped by my brother. But, hey, we all live, we all learn. That was just something that I did. I just thought it would be cool to tell a story about myself, something that was crazy. I mean, it was just crazy. It was a crazy night. Not too many people could have lived through something like that and done something like that. But, when I was young, I was hell on wheels. I did all kinds of crazy stuff, man, but nothing that crazy. That was the craziest thing that I did. But anyway, that's my crazy story of what I did one thing that I did when I was a kid. This is Hello America. Subscribe to my channel. I love all you guys. Remember, God bless everybody. Remember, there's a man above, and he loves us all. And I love you. Subscribe. Hit the like button, leave me a comment. I'm out.